All right. All right, there we go. Now I'm gonna. All right, welcome to episode number 3 of Let's Talk with Dr. Brandon. How you doing today, sir?
I am well.
Glad to hear it. Do you want to give the people just a little short cameo of what your background is, and so that way they know who you are? 1 second. Let me silence this. I'm hearing some feedback. 1 moment. All right, let's try this again. All righty. Could you tell the people just a little bit about yourself, Dr. Brandon?
Certainly. I currently possess a bachelor's degree in. I have a master's degree in criminal justice law, and I have a PhD in public leadership / criminal justice.
All right, I love it. Well, I am Shantae Health Wells. Listen, a national health educator. I've been in the sports medicine industry for the past 21 plus years. And I'm excited to be here and have this conversation with you. I feel like I have a street education and observations of just seeing the interactions between men and women through the lens of the sports industry and entertainment industries, and just seeing how that dynamic has played out amongst thousands that I've come across. So I really got some hot pressing topics that I really want to get into. And the first being the idea of delusions of grandeur. So my first question to you, Dot, is, are some women delusional in their standards? I just want to start there.
I believe so. Because if you look at where society is now, you have Black women that are not in the idea that Black men average salary. Society is going after small demographics of Black men. It's an extraordinary earner. He's denying the working middle class Black to try to go after the baller, and not enough of them to go around the average Black woman. The more sad part about it is, are do these Black women deserve that type of, and the high earner makes them to only have that athlete or somebody that's making over 6 figures. And that's one of those questions that a lot of women don't really want to think about, because it means now looking to me and say, what makes me better than that there or that woman over there? Because you all got the same body part.
I just wonder if women realize that there's a ranking system, even within men, that they may not verbalize to them. And the benefit that I've had in being in so many locker rooms is I've gotten to hear a lot of conversation that a lot of women are not privy to. And I've also gotten to see what some of those women who are with some of those men in the entertainment or in the sports world, I don't think they really truly fully understand all that comes with it unless they grew up in it or around it or work within it. Then they would have a better understanding. So I think sometimes folks are not even understanding fully what they're asking for and what it's going to take to even maintain, the bandwidth and how much goes on, and whether or not they really truly want something like that, because it's definitely not the highlight reels that you see all over social media and all that kind of stuff. Hogwash. hogwash at best. So that takes me into my next question. Do you think that we're focused too much on the six-figure earner and above, or versus being a six-figure household? Because I think that that is something that's very attainable and doable. Because my adoptive dad, that's what I call him, he was a great African historian teacher whose feet I sat at for many years. He always said two can live as cheaply as one. So that's where that six-figure household comes in. And I know on our last episode, you brought that up. So do you think we're focused too much on getting a six-figure earner versus being a six-figure household? What do you think?
I believe so. As a matter of 2016, there were only percent of Black men that were making $100,000 or more per year. Perhaps even if we say making at least 200 per year or more, and that 0.7%. So what we're looking at between 2000 and 2020, because that's so before things got shut down and people started losing their jobs. The median income for Black people, for both men and women, was 19,000 the age of 20 and now again, that's about the age when I'm thinking about married to somebody. So then we move 30 to 39-year range. In per year is 31,049, 8,700. And then 9 is 42,000. And again, the median amount for people. So now when you start looking at men, right? This is what looking for, that Black man basically gonna take care of it. Between the ages of 20 and makes $19,900. Between the age of 39, that Black man makes $1,000 per year. Between 40 and 49 years, it's $47,900 per year. And then between 59, it's 48,000. So again, it's one of those predominantly out there. So this is what at the grocery store, gas station, at the rest sporting event. It's what's around you. There aren't Michael Jordans walking around you. Okay, so these are the there could be good men not being given the opportunity. To the other point of that is women are quick to well and an opportunity to be at and the third, right? So where does that leave the average man? Average man now still has his so now he's gonna start manipulating women to get what he needs because they're not allowing him to be a good man. He's being strictly because he's average. He's average. And average ain't good for a lot of Black women. 48% of married Black women in the if you combine or if they that notion of every that's with them has to make six figures and you combine her income, which is about 2022, a Black woman was $44,000 a year, and you put that with a Black man, which in 2022, $40,000 a year, almost at 100,000 per year. So, more interesting information to go along with that. In the third quarter of 2020, Blacks held trillion in wealth. Wow, that's a big number. 6 trillion. Well, when you compare that 111 trillion that whites hold, you see that it's a drop in the bucket. So that's 82% of in the United States is currently held by, whereas 5% by blacks. White people make up 50%, up 14% of the population, hold 5% of the wealth. Black people are also likely to be not denied for credit, approved for less than white people. The denial was 46%. People is only 22%. Now, an attack on people. This is a wake up. Black woman who's making $44,000 a year can only apply for a house in that income she afford. Going to be able to afford a $750,000 house. Be able to afford $500,000 house. But joined her with a black man's 40, their purchasing power in the school and neighborhood that they live in to increase their ability to actually apply in the credit because your income now again we are still black. There is some denial in there, regardless of what the income is. You got a permanent tan, but it will be reduced because we're making almost $100,000 combined. How are you know for a house that costs $250,000? It makes it harder. So that's why we need reality and not this world, this social media world, thinking that, oh, I'm just going to hold out until this and that. No, that's not reality. And you'll end up alone.
Yeah, like it just reminds me of when Kevin Samuels, which I know a lot of women have a lot of hate towards him, may he rest in peace. But I just would think about that dog he would have barking. He was like, then you're going to die alone. And I honestly agree with a lot of times when he said that to the women that I was just looking at them. I'm just like, you don't get it. Like, it's not that he was trying to be mean. It's the reality is that a lot of women will end up dying alone if they don't make some adjustments, to it. And so I want to go into my own little spiel on this because it ties into my next question that I'm gonna have for you is that, I just think that people need a dose of reality, and I just think that some women are really, truly putting unrealistic expectations based on somebody's highlight reel. But what you haven't seen is maybe she's being cheated on. Some are even being hit. And I'm not talking about something I heard. I'm talking about things that I've witnessed and seen up close and personal. And not to mention, some of them are getting verbally abused. Some of them are neglected. There's no time there. There's a harem of additional women, so there's so much that they're not showing you and telling you. Some of them, both of them may be cheating on each other. There's so much stuff that goes into that so-called high income, earner that you have to ask yourself, is that what you really want? Is this the lifestyle? Can you deal with women straight up disrespecting you in your face because they're trying to get to your six-figure earner guy as well? Can you deal with women, just blatantly being disrespectful to you in a restaurant? And then let's just start with the admissions exam. College has an application process, and high wage earners, especially men, there are less of them. So there is an entry. So I like to ask people to just sit and let's just go back to, when you were 18 to 24. What type of guys were attempting to talk to you? Because I've seen where it's a lot of women who are over 30 and or over 35 even talking about they want this high income, earner. Have you even been able to attract somebody that's making over 70? Have you been able, in most communities have them, because guess what? Those are your plumbers, your electricians. Those are even the drivers of your garbage, trucks, supervisors within sanitation. These are high wage earners, engineers, architects. Are you able, have these type of people been coming on to you? Have they been attempting to date you, and not just date or hook up with you, but like seriously date you? Have you ever attracted a wealthy man before? Like, so if you're 30 and you got 3 kids, you 35 and you a plus size, help make this make sense for me. Like, where do you get this stand? Why would he choose you versus all the other options? Not only just on a physical standpoint, but they may not be coming with as much baggage. Like, it's just like Harvard. Harvard is selective. So when you're talking about trying to deal with a man that's not even just 100,000, let's just go with, we could say even 60 and above, because the average earner in the US is not that. Have you been able to attract even a man, a professional man? Have you been able to attract a man that's in a certain income bracket? And if you've never attracted a man or along those lines, have you attracted a physician before? Have you attracted a lawyer? Have you attracted like a business owner that actually is making 6 figures and above? Have you? If none of these type of people have ever approached you, then your looks are not at that level to where you can draw that in, because it would have already happened. And I'm not talking about something that I've heard about, I'm telling you something that I know, because I know the type of people who have always been drawn to me, and I'm even plus size. I wasn't always. So there is a reality check that I think that some people have to have. Like, there are men do rape women. Do you have facial symmetry? Like, who has been attracted to you all these years? You 40 years old and you talking about you want a 6-figure dude, but you ain't never attracted a 6-figure dude, even when you were in your 20s, let alone your 30s. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, some of y'all, like you tripping. You are tripping, and you will die alone if you don't make some adjustments. Some people have unrealistic expectations, and it's time to stop the tomfoolery. You know that you do not look the part of what those people who are in that type of tax bracket are looking for. You've never been that, and that is okay. Leroy down the street, who's on your level, on your plane, an average dude, may be willing. He may. Like, your dad probably was average. Your mom was average. Your grandparents were average. Why is that now not good enough for you? You act like you came from riches. Like, stop. You can have an opportunity to be in a 6-figure household if you're willing to come together and create something together. I'm sorry, like, I just feel so passionate about this. So I didn't mean to go on a riff for too long, but I just feel like somebody that was not a male needed to just really truly tell the truth. I've seen a lot of stuff being in sports medicine, being in locker rooms, being with professional athletes of all different types of sports, being with entertainers behind the scene. Like, come on, man. There's a certain look. Why would they settle for somebody with average looks? Let alone your personality. Some of these people that I've seen online talking about they got to have a figure this, that, and the other. The attitude stinks. Ain't no peace of mind for that dude with you. You got Ray, Pookie, all of them. You got 5 baby daddies. Come on, man. Come on, sis. You got to stop playing. You got to stop playing. You know ain't nobody signing up for that. When they got all of that. Like, come on. Get it together. I'm sorry. I know some of y'all gonna come for me, and that's okay. That's A-okay. But even I had to adjust my expectations. So you got to make sure that you are being you're being real, and that you're not trying to date outside of, listen, this may piss some people off, but some people are trying to date outside of their league. That's you just not there. You're not there, but there is somebody that wants you. There is somebody that thinks you the best thing since sliced bread. Okay, I'm sorry, Dr. Brandon. I'm off my soapbox now. So, do you think that some folks attempt to date too far outside their league? Is that keeping them single, or do you think people don't try to date outside of their league? What do you think?
Well, it's everything that is straight facts. All right. Looks are important to a in our visual. So yes, if you're curvy, if you got the right spot, if you wear those, I mean, oh yeah, you're gonna pull us in, no problem. You zero problem getting dudes to you. Even if you happen to that's above average, you're gonna pull them in, but only pull us in. Attitude is what keeps men going on with your attitude. Yes, you look pretty in the face. Yes, you're banging. Does your attitude match? The other part, and because that, like you said, even if it isn't that, just happens to be an in making $85,000 a year. Oh, yeah, average. That's a good life there. But are you in with kids? Kids will lure you. That's not it's impossible to still get that man. Means there is even more emphasis on your attitude. Because again, you look good. Your attitude might be, but now you got a kid. Your attitude needs to be even better. Other girl over there that looks good, dude, with no kids. Line, the number one will say, "Oh, he knew what he was getting into. I had a kid. And if he's going to accept me, he going to my child. Uh, how about I just flat out? I'll accept you for a little while so we can have a little fun, so I can play with that I like and I want to touch and get into, but be thinking I'm going to go ahead and slide out this one over here that's just like me, has a decent attitude with no kids. All of a sudden, that man. However, it is not hopeless. Again, all you're looking on, because again, men are visual. Make sure you're better. All other women that have no kids can date somebody with a child because her value back up. You had a child was hopeless, you're gonna die alone. No, it just means you in extra, which means you now have to listen. Man wants, man that you're dating. What is it that he then ask yourself, fulfill those needs. Oh, he wants me to iron clothes and have him when he goes to work. Am I willing to do that? Not gonna get that, man. You're not gonna get that one. All right. That's the whole getting to your dating outside their league. Outside of their league, if they don't have a attitude, your attitude is what determines what you end up getting. All right? Also, your looks. Again, oh yeah, we men are visual. Again, not all men want the same thing. Some like the plus size ladies. It's not hopeless for them either. It still comes down to your attitude. I don't care if you skinny, runway model size, or normal size. If you're plus size, and want the same thing. woman with a, not with all of this nonsense that a lot of women bring to me. A lot of women think that they can just argue and talk any kind of way. Whereas if another man was to talk to me, some women, dude, it'd be a physical fight. It'd be a physical fight. But women think it's okay to do it because I'm a woman and do nothing about it because you're better than me is their mentality. You're better. You telling that to a man down to a fight, you're gonna get knocked unless you're taking some type of courageous or some type of martial arts or some um arts, you finna get knocked the F out. All right. So don't come with that type of an talk and disrespect men like that because F around and catch a bad one. One, I'm gonna take the charge because you ain't finna talk to me. So yeah, some women are trying to go outside of the adjust their attitude. They to get somebody that's above, not six figures above average. Again, if we talking about the average between the demographics, so let's just say 30 to, the average 31.4. So if you making 55, all right, your attitude, because he's making more than most.
Yeah, no, I think you're right on. And so here's the thing, like, I think that your attitude is a part of that attractiveness because you can be pretty, you can be beautiful, but not necessarily attractive because your attitude and the way you act and the way you treat people is a part of that attractiveness scale. And you definitely will lose points. Like, one thing I have seen universally, like that most men talk about and even just it even hint at is that peace of mind, that peace. And so if you're someone that just constantly wants to disturb the peace, you want to keep up a bunch of ruckus, it's just always like you ain't gonna this, and you snapping your hands, you popping your neck, popping gum, all of this kind of extra stuff. You're coming with at a man with masculine energy all the time, like you're in the boardroom or like you're his mother, it's gonna be a problem. Why would an above average earner, that's what I'll just stay with that. Why would they choose you? There's so many other options. There's so many other options. Ladies, we're outnumbered. It's just point blank, period. So I just hope that, people who listen to this, and I know some gonna come for me. I know somebody got that beg to differ spirit, as Tony Gaskins would say. Like, listen, okay, all right, I'll take all the smoke. However, that don't make whatever I said any less true. That don't make anything that you said, Dr. Brandon, any less true. And I hope that this will help some people get out of their own way, because that's the biggest thing. Are you willing to get out of your own way? And it's not, I'm glad you brought up that it's beyond weight, because there's a whole lot of men that do love curvy women. There's even some high wage look at a football player. There's all different sizes. Do you know how many linemen that date women who got a little extra meat on her bones? So it's not completely out of the question. There are men who have kids who want someone with maybe a child or two, but let's be honest. Like, your kids can't be acting a fool, cutting up, disrespectful, all that kind of thing. Why would they want that? You got to make sure your stuff is together. That's all I'm saying. So if you got your standards up here, but yet you're bringing, level 1 to the table, but you want level 10, like, where they do that at? You tripping.
Exactly. That's what it comes down to. It's like you're going for something that's above then you, meaning the woman, be rich, even if it's not your income, because men don't care income. This holler at the girl that's the cashier, and we're looking at how she lives. We don't care that she don't make that kind of money. It's about So it comes back, you said, and do like plus size women, but you cannot have two people in a relationship with a penis. You have to check that at the door. I got a, all right. Check yours at the door. Your other girl, y'all can have a pissing contest amongst the girls, but the moment you come to me, the door. There can only be one in my house.
Exactly. And I think that sometimes that, oh, they just can't handle it. No, it's just God made us with two energies, masculine and feminine, for a reason. There's nothing wrong with resting in your feminine energy. Let your masculine come out in that boardroom. Let it come out when you're trying to negotiate your deals. But in the household, come on, you tripping. You don't need masculine and masculine. Come on, you tripping. So that takes me to my final question. And I'm gonna let you go, Dr. B. How do we bridge the gap, like within our communities? Because I do feel a gap between the genders and within our internal struggle, like between the genders. Like, I think like it's hurting us economically and it's hurting our kids. And yes, I know someone's gonna say, yeah, but still the majority of Black women are, Black women and Black men are married in America. Yeah, but it's barely there. And I think by the next census, it's not going to be the majority no more. And unless we do some real work to actually fix the widening gap, because we're now focusing on the wrong things that will keep us, it's going to keep us apart, and it's going to make us delay that whole marital thing and not be able to come together. So what's some solutions? How can we bridge the gap between the genders in our community?
We have to recognize a planned attack. And again, conspiracy theorists. It was set up this way. Talked about the credit denial rate. They'll approve you for a car loan, approve you for college loan. Oh, they applied. They was like, sure, for your master's degree, no money. Oh, for your PhD, money. But the moment I go in and say, like a loan to start a business, so it comes to living reality. In all honestness, understand is gender. You have male, female. I don't care whom you want to identify with, and somebody's going to come at me for that because identify with one or the other because there's one or the other. Now, be one today and switch to a different one. It's on you. Go for it. More power. I'm here to tell you that. So, yeah, we have to understand exactly what's keeping us apart, unrealistic expectation. You cannot expect to come in, pay all, and still deal with why. What I'd rather live on my own and pay my own grown bills. I'm paying for now one versus having to get possibly a two-bedroom because I'm paying for me, the child, right? So if you want the man to take that tradition, then the woman has to also take role. It's not cherry picking on, I want that. I'm gonna leave that because men don't see it that we don't see it that way. I have no problem. Every bill of the house, our note, and every other bill for the house is it not get a whole lot of lip because I have peace in my house. a black male back the world, because every time the first thing that they is that I am a male. I deal with that. So when I come home, peace there. If I'm come home and my spouse get no rest, moment that saying how we feel, then it turns into, oh, you need to man up. But if we stay clammed up, ain't talking to me. Why you ain't expressing how you feel? Tell me you felt this way or that way, and you on me and got with that chick. Because I can't win either way. Wrong. If I don't tell, wrong. So it's like we get no understand our men. If they take the time to men would in. We don't want hunting for need. If I can get a guaranteed source of it, have peace in my house, looks good, has a great attitude, me ever stepping out with right where I'm at. Everything I need right here in this house. I come home, I get a meal. I get a meal. If I want something, I can eat that too. That's what we are looking for. This is how you bridge. Men don't want your hunting. We have a 10% rate. 90% of what we chase get. I'd rather have that 100% that's what we get all day. So, bridge the gap. Looking at what it is, understanding what men make in America. That men are visual. That men want a good woman. I ain't saying that you should be verbal. That ain't a real man. You that's still gonna be a small, that's not gonna be, most likely you're gonna run across. Of course, out there, but that's not what's mostly there. That's how we.
Well, I absolutely love that. Thank you so very much. I think that was a comprehensive answer and very practical. The simple techniques and tips that we can do to come together and bridge that gap. And again, that piece. I just don't know if we all value that enough as women and understand how much a man uses that to judge whether or not he wants to stay with you. It's that peace of mind. So, thank you, Dr. B. Appreciate it. And looking forward to the next episode. Any final thoughts or closing thoughts you want to leave us with?
Thank you for having me all, and to all of your viewers and listeners. It's easier to love. That's my final thought.
Thank you. This has been Let's Talk with Dr. B. See you next week. Peace.